figured now was an okay time to kind of get something off my chest. Something that's been worrying me for a while, and it seems that my worries are coming true. This is the first time I've gone 2 weeks without watching Top Gear. Every now and then in the past, I would miss an episode here or there, but I would always go back and watch it on demand or try to find it online or just buy it off iTunes, whatever. I always had to get my Top Gear as soon as I could, even if I missed it when it aired live. But now I've gone 2 weeks without watching Top Gear, and the saddest thing is I don't even feel like I'm missing that much. And now why is that? It was my favorite show, and now that they've changed the hosts and changed the director, I don't even really care about watching it anymore. What it comes down to is the new Top Gear just seems kind of like someone trying to do an impression of the Jeremy Clarkson Top Gear. And so it has the same look. They've got awesome cars, they have the Stig, they have the laps, they have the celebrities, but it's weird. It's not quite the same. Hey guys, I hate to do this to you, but I totally forgot what I was going to say right there when I was driving. But what I wanted to get to was I recently watched an interview with Chris Harris on the Joe Rogan Experience, and he was talking about how you can't try to do what Top Gear does. You don't want to be a second best version of something that's great, because you're never going to live up to it. It's never going to be as good as the original. If you're going to do Top Gear without Clarkson, Hammond, May, you've got to do something completely different. You've got to totally change it, make it a different show. Don't try to imitate the magic that they had, because you're never going to get that. And that's, I think, what I was trying to say here, but my mind just kind of went elsewhere while I was driving. So back to what I was originally saying. I'm sure a lot of you are feeling the same way about it. It no longer feels quintessentially British. Now, I'll admit I'm a huge Anglophile. I love England. I love the UK. I'm sad, like a lot of people, that they're leaving the EU, but that's a whole different topic. The thing that made Top Gear so great for me is that it was unlike anything else you see on TV. It had a sort of British quirkiness that I loved and that you see in a lot of their cars even. For example, I love Lotus, and I love Aston Martin, and I love Morgan, and I think the show had kind of a Lotus kind of feel. Like, it was, especially in the early days, it was a little bit more stripped down. It was kind of a rough cut, but it had a sort of beauty and elegance to it. It was really funny. It didn't give a shit what people thought about it. They just kind of did stuff because it was fun for them, and you could live vicariously through it. And the team had such great chemistry. And this new Top Gear, you lack that chemistry. They have Matt LeBlanc on it. I mean, Matt LeBlanc is a cool guy, but he's American, and it makes me kind of think, well, why? How is this any different from American Top Gear now? Like, I mean, I don't know how many of you have watched American Top Gear. I tried to watch it once or twice, but it's just kind of boring. There's not a lot of charisma. There's no quirky. It seems way more scripted. And I know Top Gear was pretty scripted to begin with, but at least they made it seem like it was all just happening by chance. I just don't see how it's different from American Top Gear anymore. They do these challenges that are all kind of derivative challenges and things like that. They're not really that inspired. They're not that crazy. The personality is just lacking. He doesn't come across as a car guy 100% through and through, would be crap at anything else. Hammond, May, and Clarkson, if they tried to host, well, I think if they hosted a show about anything, it would be entertaining just because of their personalities. I mean, if you saw the Top Gear Ground Force episode, then you know what I mean. Part of what made the original three guys so good is that they're car journalists from the beginning. So they've been writing about cars and talking about cars and reviewing cars for ages before they even appeared on TV. And that's why I was so excited about Chris Harris being on the show. When I heard Chris Harris and Sabine Schmidt were going to be on the show, I was like, okay, this might actually work, because I've been watching Chris Harris on cars and reading his articles for ages, and he's highly entertaining, extremely knowledgeable. He's super geeky about cars, like me. He gets down and dirty, but he also he's funny. He has a sort of I don't care what you think attitude. He has kind of a maverick mentality, much like the original Top Gear crew. And I'm going to call them original. I know there was a show in the 80s and stuff, but I'm going to call them original. Them being Clarkson, Ham, and May. Okay, Chris Harris, he could keep it together. But then they put him on After Gear or Extra Gear, like this sort of after show, which when I watch it, it's actually better than the Top Gear official show, or I guess the main event. Like, I'll watch Extra Gear all day long as Chris Harris is in it, because whatever he touches turns into gold, it seems. So I guess I just don't get it. Why wouldn't they go for other car journalists? There's a lot of fantastic car journalists who are out there who would be entertaining. And if you want to bring in American people, okay, fine, bring in an American. Why not Jay Leno? Jay Leno has been producing his own car show out of his own pocket for years now. I mean, Jay Leno's Garage is one of the most popular car shows on the internet. And why they didn't get him to come on, why they didn't get Chris Harris onto the main show, confuses me. Don't tell me it's a money issue, because Top Gear has enough money. If they can afford Matt LeBlanc and Chris Evans, they can afford Chris Harris for sure. Maybe they can, and I'm sure they can afford Jay Leno if they can afford Jeremy Clarkson. So it just confuses me why they went with Chris Evans, who I guess he's like a comedian, but he's not that funny. He's kind of just more of a generic talk show host who happens to own a lot of cars. And you can tell he loves cars, but he's just kind of goofy in a sort of disingenuous kind of way. It seems like he's doing stupid things because that's what you're expected to do on Top Gear, instead of doing stupid things because you actually get lost in the middle of London like James May, or you actually accidentally let something slip that you were really thinking in your head, like Jeremy Clarkson did a little bit too often. But that's what it seemed like. It seemed like he would let something slip, and he would say something that he actually thought in his head, and he just didn't care what people said, which I thought was great. I mean, it's like the Donald Trump thing. It's weirdly entertaining to see what he says. I don't think Jeremy Clarkson or Donald Trump should ever be head of state of anything, but on TV, as far as TV goes, I mean, they get the ratings, they're entertaining to watch. I mean, Top Gear was the #1 TV show in the world, I believe. Like 300 million people watch Top Gear. Last time I checked, their ratings are just dropping off a cliff, which doesn't surprise me. I mean, it's sad to see it go. Now, that being said, I'm super excited about the new Amazon show, The Grand Tour. I think this will be a fantastic new thing for them. They'll be able to add their own creativity a little bit more without the BBC kind of overseeing them. They'll have a big budget, which I'm a little bit worried about, because I thought that their best work was done when they actually had a smaller budget. But anyways, they have Andy Willman with them, so I trust that it'll be a great show. And I think the ratings for that show will end up being better than the ratings for the newest Top Gear. So how can Top Gear overcome this? Well, I think they need to go back at the end of the season, take a good hard look at it and say, okay, this was an experiment, it didn't work, what can we do? My suggestion would be, first of all, take Chris Harris, put him on the main show, make him the main host. He's the most talented, I think. He's the most engaging, and I think he cares the most about cars in general. I mean, get rid of Chris Evans. Nobody seems to really like him. He doesn't seem to get along with the other people on the show. Matt LeBlanc apparently is having some kind of drama with him. You don't want that kind of drama. Get rid of them. If you want to keep an American, go ask Jay Leno. Say, hey Jay Leno, would you like to co-host this show with Chris Harris? And that might work. If not, fine. Just have Chris Harris. You don't need to have sort of a three-headed thing going on. You can have Chris Harris, and then he has some friends. Maybe go poach Tiffany Dell from Fifth Gear. Another person they could ask, if Jay Leno is too expensive and you still want an American, go ask Matt Farah. I mean, I'm sure he would love to host Top Gear for a season at least. But then again, why do you don't need an American to be on a British show? I think that kind of dilutes the show. I think you need, I mean, if somebody asked me, I would gladly be on the show, but I think you need Brits in the British show for it to really feel authentic. So Chris Harris, maybe keep the guy from Rakumbu Cars, I'm sorry, I can't remember his name. Maybe keep Sabine Schmidt. I know she's German, but Sabine is actually a good driver. She's a fantastic racing driver, so keep her along. She's also pretty entertaining. She's good quips, good banter, things like that. I really hope they go back and they reevaluate this whole thing with Chris Evans and Matt LeBlanc, because I just don't think it's working out. I know I can't be the only person that's been kind of distance from Top Gear ever since Jeremy Clarkson left. I don't know if I'm gonna watch any more Top Gear. I mean, I might. If I'm bored, I might go back and watch some of the episodes, but I've just kind of been disheartened at this point. I will go back and watch Extra Gear though, because I love everything that Chris Harris puts out. Even his lowest budget, ultra nerdy stuff where he builds a green Porsche from scratch and talks about rally suspension, things like that. I can watch that and be entertained. I don't know what it is. He's just got some kind of talent that is entertaining. I really hope that they use his talent more and see that he's really the sort of person that could fill that gap of British car passion, geekiness. I think he's kind of a weird mix between James May and Jeremy Clarkson. He's very opinionated, he has a lot of strong opinions, and he doesn't really give a shit what people think, and he's willing to sort of put his opinions out there, but at the same time he's got sort of the James May geekiness. Give him more things to do, it's so much better. All in all, guys, I just felt like I needed to rant a little bit about new Top Gear and my concerns about where it's going, while at the same time expressing my excitement for the new Amazon show, The Grand Tour. They're not paying me to advertise this. I'm just excited about it. That being said, if you do want to advertise with me, go ahead. I doubt that's going to happen though, but tell me what you guys think about the new Top Gear. Do you guys like it? Have you even been watching it? If you do like it, tell me why. What's good about it? Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe there's some merit to it that I'm missing out on. What do you guys think of Chris Harris? What do you think of the Extra Gear show? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comments. I'm fascinated to hear what you guys think about this whole new transition. And let me know what you guys are excited for with the Grand Tour. I appreciate you guys listening to me rant and ramble like this, so make sure you subscribe. I'm putting out new videos every week, trying to do at least 2 a week, so there'll be a lot more things like this. I've got more car reviews coming down the line, so stay tuned, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks. Hi everybody, I'm back got my new laptop here, and so I thought I'd do a quick video with you guys about the new Miata. Honestly,